I witnessed something crazy at Home Depot, and I'm about to tell you right now. So I'm like at the end of one of the aisles, I'm looking at something, and then next to me there's a woman. I'm not thinking anything about the woman, but inside the aisle, like very, very close, there's a guy and a baby, and the baby must have been like maybe 1 or 2. Looking at the rugs or whatever, and then the woman next to me is also looking at the rugs. This woman comes up to the guy and the baby, and it's like talking to the baby. Oh my god, you're so adorable, blah blah. Mind you, I'm just there minding my business, and I have no idea that the woman next to me is associated with that guy or has anything to do with that guy.
I don't care.
And what we have here is a complete double standard that is blatantly ignored by society at large. Here we have a single woman who's going to Home Depot with the intent of trying to find a single man, because in her head, men just go to Home Depot to hang out apparently. She sees a man with a baby and immediately goes up and talks to the baby with the intention of flirting with the guy, which is considered to be completely acceptable behavior by today's society. In fact, most women won't even blink an eye at this. However, if the roles were reversed and a man approaches the woman and her child with the exact same intent, he will either walk away with an eye full of pepper spray or in handcuffs. Either way, the woman is getting celebrated and the man is getting shamed. But regardless of the scenario, we can always count on other modern women to eavesdrop on their interaction and tell the rest of the planet as if it's the most important thing in the world. Seriously, you can almost set your watch to it. It's uncanny.
The woman that goes up to the guy starts talking to the baby, and then it just kind of escalates, and she's making comments like, oh my god, you're so cute, just like your dad. Oh my god, like, you know, kind of like throwing little jabs. So the woman and I kind of lock eyes because we're like, what? And she's like, that's my husband. Like, oh, like, are you gonna go over there? And she's like, let me wait a minute. I look at her hand, she's wearing a ring, so I'm assuming he's also wearing a ring. I mean, she said it was her husband, so I'm like, if he has a ring, and this woman is coming up to him and the baby talking about, you're so cute like your dad.
What?
Well, I hate to break it to you, sister, but if a man is wearing a wedding band, it makes the woman want him even more. Modern women want what they can't have, and if a man is married, then it's the ultimate forbidden fruit. When a modern woman sees a married man, she thinks that he has something that some woman wanted and got locked down. And whatever that thing is, she wants it. She'll be all over that man like mosquitoes at an inappropriately large family reunion. Hell, this fact is so well known that single men would go to bars while wearing a wedding ring with the intent of picking up women, only for those chicks to get furious with him the next morning after they find out he's single, as the only reason she got into bed with him in the first place was for the thrill of the affair. Men don't think like this. We don't have the time. We're too busy trying to get the hell out of Home Depot and get our projects over with.
The guy's kind of being like standoffish, like kind of looking around, like you can feel he felt uncomfortable. I don't know if it was because his wife was right there, but he's kind of like, at one point he looks around and then he notices her and he's like, almost like blink twice if you need help type of vibe. So whatever, the wife ends up walking over there, and I'm just kind of like still there kind of eavesdropping because the cheese man was like juicy, and she just goes up, she's like, hi, yeah, I'm his wife. And the woman's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And then she kind of just like walks away. And I'm like, are we for real? Nobody's safe, even at Home Depot? My man be at Home Depot all the time with my son.
Congratulations!
So here's a question. Do modern women not realize that going to Home Depot is a massive pain in the groin? They are rarely in a convenient location. They're massive, so getting what you need takes longer than it should. They're always busy, and the prices are rarely reasonable. Men who go there typically want to get their crap and get going because every second he's stuck at Home Depot is a second he cannot use to get his stuff done so he can enjoy some peace after the project is completed. Hitting on a man when he's stuck there is incredibly rude and presumptuous. So if you're married, you don't have much to worry about because A, that man is most likely loyal to the mother of his child, B, doesn't have time to waste with a clueless broad who has no common sense, and C, doesn't want to make an annoying trip even more annoying by dealing with that clueless broad who thinks a screwdriver and a hammer are positions used in the bedroom. So stop worrying that your man is going to do something stupid. Well, mind your own stupid business. 99% of things that happen in this world don't concern you, no matter how much you wish it was otherwise.
Shut your dirty little mouth!
A hot take I have is that if you decide to ghost someone after being intimate with them, you need to really commit to that ghost, you know? Like, personally, for me, if I were to ghost someone after being intimate with them and moving past ghosting territory, I would unshare my location if a location were to have been shared. You know what I mean? I would definitely not ghost someone while still sharing my location. But, you know, to each their own.
Nobody cares what you think.
Oh, you poor diluted little summer sapling. I see what's going on here. You hooked up with Chadwin Ray Ray Tyronius, big game hunter and pizza champion. And it was fun for him for a while, but he didn't see anything meaningful with you, so he ghosted you, as is his style. But he still wants to keep the option open for some low-effort strange. So naturally, he's going to let you know where he's going to be in the event that you want to make some stains with him. Now, whether or not you do doesn't matter. This man has no problem getting chicks. So if you don't show up, someone else inevitably will. Now, you could do what any mature adult would do in this situation and just, ignore this man and move on with your life. But you're not a mature adult. You're a modern woman, and you can't handle the fact that you still want this man, so instead of moving on with your life, you're just going to post a video where you try to talk yourself out of wanting to go on yet another one of Chadwin's safaris.
Another thing I would do if I were to ghost someone after being intimate with them, I would not start liking their stories, posts, interacting with their shit, I wouldn't do that, right? But again, do what you want. If I were to do that and then the person I've been ghosting reached out to me and said a kind, what the hell? I then would maybe use that as an opportunity to address them, But if I chose not to, if I chose to continue to ghost after that, and they made their choice to unfollow me and remove me as a follower, I wouldn't re-follow them.
Whoa.
Well, golly gee willikers, woman, your life is just one gigantic pit of hell, isn't it? Some guy you boned is following you on social media, liking your stories, and isn't responding to your messages. So what's stopping you from just ignoring him and moving on with your life? Oh, wait, that's right. I keep forgetting. You still want him. If you regretfully had a one-nighter with some average dude you met at the bar, this wouldn't be bothering you. In fact, you would be the one doing the ghosting. But this is Chad Spencer for hire we're talking about here. He's playing the exact same games as you, and the only difference is he's a grandmaster and you aren't even a novice. Why else would you even be bothering to message him? It's because you want him to give you that attention and another go at things. Well, I'm fairly confident that'll happen. You can't quit your addiction to Chad's validation cold turkey, sweetheart. You're already going through severe withdrawals, and it won't be long before you're crawling to him to get another fix. You're a modern woman. You can't help it.
That's funny because it's so true.
Have you ever noticed that men get obsessed with you when you ignore them? Or like how your boyfriend will suddenly start acting right if he thinks you're mad at him? Apparently there's science behind this. I linked a video below that goes further into it, but basically, both men and women have two love hormones. For women, it's oxytocin and dopamine. For men, it's oxytocin and vasopressin. Basically, vasopressin is a hormone that's released when men feel stressed. Meaning, when you stress them out, it releases this love hormone, which means that it makes them love you more. That is so sad.
Really?
That is messed up. The reason why men get stressed out when you ignore them is because you're clearly creating a problem for them, and they want to solve that problem because they have the audacity to care about you. The reality is that there is no problem though, you're just being petty. And it's not sad that men want to take care of you and keep you happy. What's really sad is how you'll watch a TikTok video with info that was most likely interpreted incorrectly and taken out of context, and then all of a sudden, you're a biologist. Now, you see, I am not a biologist. I'm an intergalactic bounty hunter. I have no business discussing the details of neurotransmitters. However, as a man, I'm going to say that your line of thinking is false to the point of being offensive. Men aren't falling in love with you because you're ignoring them and stressing them out. They are trying to fix the problem so the both of you can have some peace. It takes too much physical and mental energy to do this, and the harder you fight, the more exhausting it becomes. Men don't want women who stress them out. We have enough stress in life as it is.
Now, I'm not saying to utilize this information. I just want you to have it. What I am saying is tonight's date night with my boyfriend, and I was thinking this shirt might be a good outfit choice. Just kidding.
You! I will think of you as I throw up into the toilet.
I don't see how modern women can post garbage like this and then be shocked when men turn their backs on them. Just listen to what you're saying, lady. You're telling other women that it's totally okay to intentionally mistreat their men emotionally because it'll make that man more affectionate at the end of the day. And it's totally okay to emasculate them as well because apparently that'll make them better in the bedroom. And because this is tied to something that barely constitutes as science, it's perfectly acceptable behavior because that's just how men are. But the really sad part is that if the tables were turned and a man did even a fraction of what you were suggesting, it would be considered emotional abuse, which it totally is. And you're advocating for the psychological mistreatment of men just for the sake of your own feelings. And I know this is going to be difficult for that rotten porridge bucket you call a brain to comprehend, but men really don't like being treated that way. It's kind of disrespectful and incredibly mean-spirited. I know, what a shocker, right? So it's really no wonder that men aren't willing to risk their peace anymore, because being alone is significantly better than dealing with your garbage.
I'll just move to North Korea. I'll just move to North Korea. Okay? Okay. I'll just move to North Korea.
If all he does is work construction, come home, lay in bed, scroll through his phone for a little while, overthink his entire life, and have a few beers in the evening, then that's what I call real husband material.
Nice try.
Well, if all she does is lie on the internet, constantly post thirst traps, insult the intelligence of everyone around her, invest her money in makeup, Botox, and plastic surgery, shows off her anatomy for money, bases her self-worth on her follower count, can't cook, won't clean, disrespects her family by ignoring the virtues of modesty, has the personality of roadkill squirrel, thinks that street work is a respectable profession, practices the opposite of what she preaches, and thinks that pandering to men is somehow an adequate replacement for a personality, I would say that's definitely cat lady material. Or at least it would be. I don't see any cats that could tolerate you considering your overt blandness.
You're boring! You're fucking dull! You have nothing to say! You are a one-hived mind twat waffle!
So hard explaining to men what it feels like to be a girl because it's such a wide spectrum of experience and emotion. Sometimes being a girl is really fun. You wake up and you're like, and it's really cute. But then there are other days where you wake up and it's just,
Oh! That was the grossest thing I've ever heard in my life! Let's go!
I honestly don't see how you can educate men on the female experience when you can't even put it into words yourself. This notion that modern women have that men are emotional as drones is kind of insulting. Men do have emotions, we just don't feel the need to express them the same way that you do. We have dignity, that and common sense. And we're better at dealing with life's problems than you are. Some days we wake up ready to take on the world, and other days we get out of bed dreading the grind. Either way, nobody cares how we're feeling. We just have to get out of bed and persevere no matter the circumstances, because there are people who are depending on us. And regardless of how much we explain this to you, we're still the ones who are emotionally immature. However, you get all the sympathy in the world, which is kind of weird when you take into consideration that the closest you can come to complaining about your life is some days you wake up giggly, and the other days you wake up constipated. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and share this video. Let's get together and give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. And every single one of you is a gentleman and a scoundrel, and I truly mean that because there are so few left of us out in the world today. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.